Hey, if you like some of my NBA discussions here, make sure to subscribe to my other channel, which is original NBA content, which I post every week about different NBA topics. And yeah, it's a new channel, so make sure to support it. And yeah, hope you enjoy. Hi, my name is Lyric, and today we're going to a video from the man, the myth, the legend, Jonny Arnett, called NBA Award Predictions, presented for next season. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see his predictions. Jonny Arnett, one of the most educated, best NBA YouTubers, and I'm going to get my input here to say my NBA Award predictions. I might have a video, make a video about this on my original channel, a whole video about this. But I'm just going to briefly talk about it here to see, if I agree or disagree with his picks here. So yeah, I'll go through my award predictions as the video continues. So yeah, let's just get right into it. No long intro. Make sure to subscribe for daily NBA reactions. Subscribe to the original channel for I should be doing twice a week original videos, but I got school and shit, and those videos require a lot of editing, so maybe be a little bit slower than that.
First
but still,
off, I completely understand that it's probably a little too early to be making these predictions.
I mean, the offseason is basically over. The only two big things that haven't done with the offseason are James Harden and Damian Lillard. We have no idea where they're going to go, but I don't think they're even going to get traded by the time the season starts. So, if you're going to do a preseason, award predictions, I think it's a perfectly fine time. I don't think anything's going to happen between now and the beginning of the season unless something big with James Harden or Dame changes. So, or some big injuries are revealed.
That general predictions usually end up being incorrect. So
I
fully expect to be wrong with each of these choices. With that being
Don't worry, I am aware with these bad predictions. I predicted last year that the Minnesota Timberwolves would be the #1 seed in the West. And in 2022, oh god, I don't want to talk about this. No, don't let me say it. Don't let me say it. In 2022, I predicted the Lakers to win the championship, and they missed the play-in tournament. I've made some bad predictions in the past, though, but I think my NBA knowledge has grown since then, okay? My NBA knowledge is growing exponentially, I would feel, in my teenage years, okay? I feel like I'm decently NBA educated now. I think I can make better predictions, And everyone has a really bad prediction. I refuse to believe as an NBA fan, you have not made one super bad prediction before, okay?
being said, I still think this is a fun activity, and since I'm eagerly anticipating...
Oh, another bad prediction that a lot of people also had the same prediction. This is not just a me thing. A lot of people had it, but I also had it. Before the playoffs started, the regular season ended, before the playoffs started, I had the Bucks winning the championship. And then they lost in 5 games to the Heat. Not only did I have them win the championship, I had them in my playoff bracket sweeping the Heat. Tough. That's tough, man. That's tough.
The start.
And then they beat the Bucks without Tyler Hero. Oh my god.
The season.
Just
I
insane.
I might as well
Just
get
insane.
the predictions game rolling, and let me know in the comments what are your predictions for the upcoming season. So without further ado,
yeah, do in the comments of this video too. Write your predictions. Write your predictions for the NBA award. Why you agree or disagree with me or Johnny's picks. Obviously, by the way, I haven't said this. Go watch the original video first before you look to watch my insight on it.
Here are my best guesses. First off, the Defensive Player of the Year.
So DPOY, this one's really hard to predict. You just gotta say, what do you think the best defenders in the NBA are? Jaren Jackson, he could win back-to-back. I think he has a very good chance of winning back-to-back because he's going to be relied on a lot more for the Grizzlies because the first 25 games of the season, Jaw's not going to be playing, so he's going to be like the second option on offense. So he's going to be relied on a lot more. But I don't know if that would take away from his defense because he's been playing super great defense for Team USA in the World Cup. And he was so good defensively last year with his shot blocking and stuff. And, if Steven Adams comes back, the last season they didn't have Steven Adams. So having more interior help there, I feel like would relieve him some of that. So I feel like he could win it. Another guy I can see winning it is Anthony Davis. I don't know. It just depends on how many games he plays. I do think he has a good argument as the best defender in the NBA. Yeah, just super great. He was doing amazing defense in the playoffs. If we're looking at perimeter defense, I can see guys like OG Anunoby. But I don't think he would win it because I don't think the Raptors are going to be good. I don't think you're going to win DPOY if your team is not that good. So I don't think he would win it. So my prediction, probably I would go Jaren Jackson winning back-to-back. Maybe Rudy Gobert if the Wolves are good. I do have the Wolves. I do predict the Wolves are going to be better, but I think Rudy Gobert has regressed, so I don't think he would get a fourth one, especially because people wouldn't want to give him a fourth one because that would tie him for the most all time. By the way, do you think Rudy Gobert is a Hall of Famer? I mean, 3-time DPOI. It's a good case for the Hall of Fame, even though people really don't think he's a Hall of Famer. But yeah, my prediction, I'd probably go Jaren Jackson going back-to-back DPOIs. That's probably be my prediction.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is the defending winner, and he's certainly a good candidate to repeat. And no, I'm not worried about his chances of repeating just because he didn't contest a shot in a meaningless pickup game. It is worth mentioning that although he won it last season, he would not win it this season with the exact same performance. Considering how he only played 63 regular season games, and the new NBA rule requires a minimum of 65 games.
Well, it's actually crazy.
In fact,
it is crazy though he won it last year because he didn't play the entire beginning of the season. But now, presumably, that he's going to play the entire season, barring any, changes. I think you'd put an increased chance of winning it. Because he had a big injury at the beginning of the season. It's not like he gets continuously injured a lot. He just had one big injury at the beginning of the season, then came back like Christmas or something.
In 4 out of Jackson's first 5 seasons in the league, he played less than 65 games. So the young man
well, it's actually crazy.
Need to take care of his health if he's going to repeat.
I feel like he was taking care of his health pretty good after his original injury at the beginning of the season, though. So I don't know. I still probably Jaren Jackson winning it. I believe in him.
But for me personally, my prediction is Anthony Davis.
Not mad at this at all. I would not be shocked at all if Anthony Davis won it because he's arguably the best defender in the NBA. I'm a bit concerned that he said, I'm a bit confused that he said he's worried about injury issues with Jaren Jackson. Then he goes to Anthony Davis like he doesn't have the same, if not worse, issues. But I mean Anthony Davis also his health's been pretty good as of last season. He had a big injury like mid-season. But he played, like, the entire end of the season, and he was carrying the Lakers when LeBron got hurt a lot, and he played the entire playoffs perfectly healthy. So, I mean, his health has been pretty good as of recent. So, yeah, Jaren Jackson or Anthony Davis, I think, are the two people who I'm really, expecting to win that award. I mean, maybe a Giannis would step in, but it's hard for Giannis to win it because he has two great defenders on his team with Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez. We have 3 great defenders like that, all on one team. It's hard for one of them to stand out and win it. So yeah, I would not be shocked at all if Anthony Davis won it. I think this is a W prediction here. W prediction.
Now trust me, I see the irony of picking Anthony Davis after talking about Jackson's issues with staying on the floor.
Right. Okay.
Hasn't played at least 65 games since he was a Pelican in 2018. But
that's actually crazy.
I know very well how Davis often misses regular season games with minor injuries, as a precautionary measure. In many instances, I believe he could have played in those games. Now, with a 65-game minimum, I think AD will have more incentive to push through those minor injuries. Especially when you consider
I can see that.
He's made it very clear numerous times in the past that he cares very much about winning his first DPOY. If you want to earn that kind of attention from the voters, then it certainly helps when your team is competitive. And
No, this also makes sense because the Grizzlies actually, I'm actually starting to agree with him more. Yeah, I might switch my prediction to Anthony Davis too because the Grizzlies are probably not going to be as good this year with no jaw for 25 games. The team's not going to be as good. It's going to be hard for Jackson to win it. I think the Lakers are going to be one of the best teams in the NBA. Because they're one of my 4 big contenders for next season. My 4 big contenders are the Nuggets, Suns, Lakers, and Celtics. I would be shocked if any team that's not those 4 won it. So yeah, the Lakers are I predicted would be really good next season. I'm switching my pick. I'm actually gonna agree with Jonny on this one. I'm switching my pick to Anthony Davis. Yeah.
I don't think
I didn't think of that point.
Problems with that. LeBron should continue to be an ageless vampire.
I also think Anthony Davis is the Lakers' best player. So
Davis is in fantastic shape. Austin Reeves is progressing quite rapidly, and the core
Austin Reeves is going to be a 17 to 20 point per game scorer next year, I predict.
Of this Lakers unit now has some necessary chemistry and experience. Assuming they stay relatively healthy, I think they'll be one of the better seeded teams in the Western Conference. And if that's the case, Davis is
I think they're going to be top 3 seed.
Most likely to be rewarded for that. Next up is the most improved player.
This one's always so hard to believe, just because it's so hard to predict, just because of the nature of the awards, right? It's hard to predict who's going to take a gigantic jump, But if I was going to predict somebody, this one's hard. Because, like, I would never expect Lauri Markkanen to have won it last year, you know, with the damn Jazz. It'd probably be someone who just, like, went to a lower team. That's typically how you improve a lot. You go to a lower team, you know, you have a bigger role in the offense or something. Can't really think. Anthony Edwards, but he's already like an all-star, so I don't think he'd win it from going from an all-star to just a lot better of an all-star. Austin Reeves actually could have won it, you know, because he averaged like 13 points per game last year, but he was really heating up towards the end, and in the playoffs he's playing great, and he's playing great for the Team USA. So if he goes up to like a 20-point per game score, I think he could win it. I can't think of really anyone else. No one else coming to mind. He's probably going to bring up a good point, but I'll go Austin Reeves for now, I guess.
No award feels more like a straight-up guess than this one, as it's
Right.
almost completely dependent on the work the players put in during the off-season, and
Right.
most of that goes unobserved by basketball fans. But if I
Jaden
gotta
Hardy,
throw
man.
out a Hail Mary guess, I'm
Anthony
going
Edwards?
with the young star in Minnesota.
I don't know. Wasn't he? Didn't he already make the All-Star team though last year? I don't know if they give it the most improved to a guy that missed the All-Star team. Who just made the All-Star team, unless he averaged like 32 a game, 32, 7 and 7 a game next year. I don't know.
Anthony Edwards.
I'm not mad
When
at
you look
that much
great
though.
NBA players when they were young, like Kobe Bryant, Jason Tatum, and Jimmy Butler, all of those guys took a
I think Edwards is going to take a massive jump this year, though. I think he's going to be a 30-point per game scorer next year. And I think the Wolves are actually going to be good, presuming everyone's healthy. They had a lot of injury issues next year. If Cat and Gobert and Edwards are all healthy, I do think that's still a nasty big three. Naz Reid there. Jaden McDaniels, one of the best defenders in the NBA. You know, Mike Conley, the vet. You got Naz Reid off the bench. Kyle Anderson, a good player off the bench. I think the Wolves are actually going to put it together this season. They're going to be pretty damn good, I think. Led by Edwards. So,
forward
I'm not mad at this prediction at all. This is a W pick.
And Edwards is heading into his 4th season. He's a quality scorer and an elite defender, and he's still in his early 20s.
Best player in
Last
Team USA.
year, he was getting better as the season went along, and based on his international play this summer, he looks like he's getting even better. When we last saw him in the NBA, he averaged around 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. If he can get that scoring up to around 28 to 29 points per game, then I certainly believe he'll be a top 3 candidate. Next up is the 6th man of the year.
6th man of the year. It could be Chris Paul, because I do think they should be putting him off the bench. Could be Malcolm Brogdon again, because he's also coming off the bench. I think they'll probably give it to, like, Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul versus Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, Chris Paul's like 39-year-old man, bro. He could have a big regression next year. I don't know. Because I don't like the Chris Paul trade. I think it was a bad trade for the Warriors. I don't think it's going to work out. But he could still win 6th man, even if it doesn't work out completely. I'm still going Brogdon, though. Brogdon was so efficient last year, man. He was so efficient. And, yeah, he's a super good player for the... I mean, he's probably going to have a lesser role now with Porzingis on the team. I don't know. Brogdon or Chris Paul, one of those two.
Honestly, I would have loved to have had Chris Paul as my choice, as I believe he's the perfect experienced floor general to run the Dubs' 2nd unit. But since the Warriors want to run basically the smallest starting lineup since the 1950s, I have to pick someone else.
Are they not gonna? Has it been confirmed that they're gonna start Chris Paul? Cause I think that's a dumb idea.
Go with Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah,
his
that's my pick.
situation is subject
Brogdon.
to change since he's been in the middle of
Back
trade
to back.
talks. But he was big for
Has he?
Boston last year as an offensive spark off the bench. And with Marcus Smart no longer in the
Yeah, he was a
rotation
great-
for Boston.
Yeah,
even
Derek White
more
starting point
is
guard.
gonna be required of Brogdon. Next,
Yeah, I think
is
Brogdon's
Rookie
gonna
of
be
the
good.
Year. Not a surprising choice in the slightest.
Wembanyama,
but
yeah.
I'm going with Victor Wembanyama.
Not
I was
surprised.
kinda tempted
Could be
to go with
Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think Wemby is too much of a sure thing, assuming he stays healthy.
Yeah, I mean, Chet is gonna be like at best is not gonna be the best player on his team. You know, Wembanyama, I think he's gonna be the best player on the Spurs, just like first season. So I think they're more likely to give it to him.
Being under head coach Greg Popovich is one of the best outcomes he could have had. And honestly, I could see a scenario where Victor is a bit underwhelming offensively, yet he still wins the award due to his tremendous rim protection. There is also the possibility that a
Tim
cautious
Duncan.
coach like Greg Popovich doesn't give him full veteran minutes. But assuming he's going to be on the court as much as I expect him to be, I think the award will be Wemby's to lose.
W
Next
pick.
up, MVP.
All right, this is the big one. This is the big one, at least for the regular season. My MVP pick, I'm going Nikola Jokic. I think Jokic is going to get his third MVP here. A lot of people think he was robbed last year, but I think he's going to get his third MVP because I think he has solidified himself as the best player in the world. I think any narratives are completely over with, about his playoffs things. He won a championship, and Embiid is a choker in the playoffs now. And I think they're going to value Jokic's passing more than Embiid scoring this season. They're going to know that he's the best player in the world, especially with, the Sixers being quite dysfunctional. It's going to be hard for them to be that great of a team. The Bucks I don't think are going to be nearly as good as last year and stuff. They're going to be a bit dysfunctional, I think. So I don't think it's going to be Giannis. I think Jokic, he's the best player in the world, and he's on a super good team. I don't think when you're the best player on the world, and you're on one of the and when you're on a team that's arguably the favorite to win it next year, I don't see how you're not the MVP. Unless something drastic happens next season, I think, yeah, it's pretty simple. Best player in the world on a super good team. I think Jokic is getting his third MVP.
The most valuable player award typically isn't rewarded to simply the player with the best stats, the best record, or the best narrative. But to be honest, it's usually a combination of all three.
That's true.
I imagine Joel Embiid will have an extremely difficult task ahead of him if he wants to win his second.
He's not
straight.
going back to back. He's not going back to
James
back.
Harden situation, the
His team's too
Philadelphia
dysfunctional.
Organization is a bit of a mess.
Unless he leads a completely dysfunctional franchise like the first. Unless Embiid leads like a completely dysfunctional Sixers team to like the first seed in the East, I don't think he's gonna win MVP. I just don't think so.
At the moment. And when you consider how many people already regret selecting Embiid as the MVP over Jokic last season,
Yeah, Jokic is getting his third.
How it's going to be hard for him to gain favor with voters in a close race. I'm kind of going with a dart throw here.
Luka?
I think the MVP voters are ready for a new face. And my
Alright, as a Mavs fan, I gotta respect it, but, I mean, it depends how good the Mavericks are, okay? Now, we were not that good last year, to say the very least. We had Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and we missed the goddamn play-in tournament, okay? I do think we're going to be better this year. I think we made some good additions. Not as many additions as I would like. I like that we got Kyrie back. A lot of people say, oh, they should have got rid of Kyrie. No. I like that we got Kyrie back, okay? I think the Luka and Kyrie can work. You just need players that fit around them. You need defenders, okay, around those guys, okay? Our main problem is we don't have a rebounding and defensive center. We drafted one, Derek Lively, but he's a rookie, so I don't know how much we can trust him. We still don't have really one. I got like Rashawn Holmes now. Fucking wave JaVale McGee for no reason when he's a perfect fit for our goddamn team. I like the Grant Williams pick. That really helps us with interior defense, because he does a great job in interior defense. I really want a Matisse Thybulle. I'm pissed that the Blazers fucking got him fucking matched his offer, because I really wanted him on the team, but yeah, I think Jaden Hardy and Josh Green are going to improve. Yeah, so I didn't think we are going to be better, but I don't think we're going to be a top 3 seed. I don't think we're going to be as good as the Lakers, Suns, and Nuggets. So I think the best we can do is 4th seed, maybe 3rd seed, if the Suns, if Suns or Lakers implode mid-season, with some shit, injuries happen. I think that's the best we do, unless Luka averages like a 35-point triple-double, which, to be fair, is not out the realm of the possibility. That's not a fantasy world right now. He averaged like 33, 9, and 9 last season, so like 2 more points, 1 more rebound, 1 more assist. It's not that crazy. But, yeah, I still go Jokic over Luka. I still go Jokic over Luka for the MVP for this one. So I disagree with this one.
Is Luka Doncic.
Despite the fact that I'm a Mavericks fan.
I understand that him and Kyrie didn't close out last season on a good note at all, as they finished 6 games below 500 and missed the playoffs. But let's be honest, that was a team that was constantly making adjustments.
Let me be honest. I run with the Bucks boy. Let me be honest.
Throughout, and didn't have the luxury of building team chemistry before the action started. With an entire offseason,
the Luka to Kyrie is going to work better this year a lot.
And for the coaching staff to develop a vision for the season.
I think Jason Kidd needs to get fired, bro. I don't like him as the coach, man. I don't like him, man. I don't like they didn't play Christian Wood at all last year. I understand that he was not the optimal center that we needed. We need one more defensive center. But still, motherfucker, you can run that motherfucker at power forward. Okay, put my man JaVale McGee at center. I think that was a good combination. You put those two. You know, we guys didn't play him at all, man. I don't understand, man. Ugh, I don't like Jason Kidd as a coach. I think he made bad decisions.
I expect much better results this upcoming year. The fact that the Mavericks
I do expect better
did
results,
so poorly last season kind of sets the bar low for Doncic, and already sets up the narrative of Luka leading his team to an incredible bounce-back season, which is the kind of narrative that gains bonus points with the voters. Now here's the thing.
I can see that. I can see that.
In order for Luka to win the MVP, he doesn't have to turn them around into a title contender, but they just gotta be a solid team in the playoff picture. Consider this. Between the 1983 and 2016 season, 34 players won the MVP, and only one of those players were on a team that wasn't a top 2 team in the conference. On the other hand, from 2017 to 2023, there have been 7 MVP winners.
Big change how people vote.
4 of those players were not a top 2 team in their conference. For one reason or another, the NBA is starting to ease up on the idea that you need to be a top-seeded team.
Including the last 3 MVPs. Embiid was the 3rd seed, then Jokic was the 6th seed, then Jokic was the 3 seed. So the last 3 years, it hasn't been a top 2 seed.
To win the MVP.
Still, though, I still think if Jokic's gonna have a better case if he's like, I think the Nuggets are the most likely team to be the #1 seed, and he's the best player in the world. So I think Jokic's still gonna win it.
So what that tells me is that if Luka can get his Mavericks to bounce back and secure...
I think the voters' fatigue is going to not be effective in him as much because people are pissed they didn't win it last year.
Any spot from a 3 seed to even a 7 seed, it will end up gaining a lot of people's votes as the most valuable player. On top of all of that,
I think he can build. I think he can build a good case, but I still think Jokic
just averaged 32, 8, and 8 in a season where he was considered out of shape. In the offseason, the Mavericks organization said that his fitness was going to be a point of focus. And
yeah,
now
skinny Luka.
Cut as he's arriving
cut Luka, baby. Let's go.
In the best shape of his career.
Yeah,
like
baby.
I said, Luka is
doing great for Slovenia.
But my safe second choice would be Nikola Jokic.
Right, that's my choice.
He has all the confidence in the world. You know his team is going to be elite, and I don't think voter fatigue will be a factor, considering how most of the basketball world feels like he was screwed out of winning his 3rd straight. Kind of like how referees unofficially do a makeup call just to make it right for their previous bad call. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jokic.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Based on how he didn't get the MVP the season before. Obviously, there's more awards to hand out, like Coach of the Year, Executive of the Year, Clutch Player, blah blah blah. Personally, I'm
Who cares
not
about those?
interested
Not gonna lie to you.
in this video twice as long for the awards that are way less exciting. I'll at
Right.
least give quick answers without elaborating. I've got Frank Vogel winning Coach of the Year with the Suns, Brad Stevens for Executive of the Year with the Boston Celtics, Steph Curry for Clutch Player of the Year, and a Funky Diabetic for YouTuber of the Year. Go check out his channel. You won't regret it.
Hey, shout out Funky Diabetic, man.
Think? Who are some of your choices to...
Alright, so that was a pretty good video about NBA award predictions. Put your NBA award predictions in the comment section below. And, yeah. Bye.